All right, welcome to the Black Ibis Social Club. I'm your host, Alexander Constantine, and we started a little bit late because it seems like I was having some audio problems. It looks like I had to restart StreamYard. It wasn't reading it. If you guys in the chat can give me a heads up and tell me that you can hear me, that'd be great. So I'm not talking into the void, which would be really, really, really interesting. It'd be really frustrating. All right. Were you guys able to hear the intro song, the song I was playing? I don't know if you guys heard that. All right, well, whatever. We'll start all over. Okay, so I talked into the void for like a few minutes. Um, I was eating food, so it was fine. I was trying to eat some Chick-fil-A. Anyways, Fisto's out there somewhere. He'll be here soon. He's gonna catch up. Sometimes StreamYard's kind of a pain in the butt, so I need to kind of reboot it. All right, but let's start. All right, so welcome. It's another beautiful day. We missed last week because it's been very difficult for me and Fisto to get together, and I've been just fantastically busy. I haven't even been chatting on any of my groups as much, and I've just been kind of like between work and all these like different errands I've had, and my daughter starting school and her starting up her dance classes and acrobatics classes and everything. I've just been really, really busy. So I just have not had a chance to do a topic. And on days when like Fisto's like, oh man, I've got all this work to do. And I'm like, you know what? We can skip a week. We can, if you don't have, if it's rough for you and I'm already having a rough time, we can do a week. We are going to be moving these live streams from Thursday to Wednesdays. Wednesday's just a better day for everybody. We have to move every year because of Fisto's kind of schedule and my schedule and then my daughter's schedule. And I'd like to be able to take her to dance classes, take her to different sports stuff. So we try to like work between our afternoon or evening kind of setups. So starting next week, we're going to be moving to Wednesday, which is my preferred day. Anyways, I moved it for Fisto because he had something to do on Wednesdays, but now we're good. All right. But it's been for you guys in the South. You guys are all, a lot of you guys live out here in the South. I mean, it's been just disgustingly hot, right? It's been like 100 degrees. Like here in South, I keep on saying Southern California. Here in South Carolina, it's felt like 110 degrees. It's been miserable, right? Like the other night we went on a toad hunt, right? And Saturday night, toad hunt, right? My daughter and I, my wife. And what a toad hunt is we basically take flashlights and we walk around my neighborhood, and whoever spots the most the most toads, um, wins. I won. I think I got 9 toads, but it was so hot that I felt like I was drowning. I felt like I was drinking like the air, like it was like clogging up my lungs, just walking around in the dark. And it's pretty brutal. And I don't particularly hate it. I kind of like it. It makes me want to drink beer though. It makes me want to drink beer and smoke cigarettes. I don't know why. Like that like humid weather gives me this like urge for like cheap light beer and cigarettes, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if anybody feels like that. But what I want to talk about before Fisto gets in here is why okay, so for you guys in the chat, like anything though, right? It says you get used to it. So it's pretty bad here. But when I lived in Japan in south of Tokyo, Japan was actually a lot more humid than here in South Carolina. There's something about the Kanto region of Tokyo that's really, really humid in the summer. And I got used to it in Japan. And then I lived in Papua New Guinea, and Papua New Guinea just, you walked out of your hotel room in the morning and you're sweating. You have to go to breakfast and you have to take a shower after breakfast. That's how bad the humidity is in the jungle. So this is nothing. I mean, this sucks, but it's definitely not like South Pacific kind of humidity. So I'm okay with it. I'm a bit of an amphibian. I'm a reptile, so I kind of enjoy it. I don't like it as much as I like the desert. I think I really like the way the desert feels. What's up, Jason? But yeah, so before Fisto gets here, oh, he'll be here. Fisto will be here. He said he's going to be like a few minutes late. He was running late, like committing felonies or something. I don't know. Actually, no, guys, he has been here live the whole time. If anybody asks, he is live with us on the air right now. If the police ask, no, but he'll be here. What I wanted to talk about was I wanted to talk about Clancy Steadwell's comment on Substack. Oh my god, Substack drama. Okay, but not really, right? Um, Clancy had this post where he basically compared podcasting to AI slop, right? He said there's a lot of podcast slop, and he put it in the same category as, you know, podcast slop and AI slop. And I really disagree with that, right? And if you guys remember, if you guys have been following me for a while now, I'm an AI hater, all right, but I'm not an AI hater because I think it's gonna, it's gonna become like fucking Skynet or anything like that. I've from the very beginning I've said that AI is just it's just gonna be fake and gay and be more annoying. I think uh, the AI is not gonna like take over art or good stuff. It's just gonna inundate us with just the 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 artistic equivalent of like Chinese plastic crap, you know. And I don't know if you guys remember the one time a million years ago I went on what was that dude's podcast that I went on? That really annoying guy. He's like the one of the art ho bro guys. Walter, whatever, on his podcast, and the whole point was to kind of debate AI. And I I think he expected me to be like the AI doomer. Oh my god, he's a doomer. And I just said, no, it's going to be stupid. Like it's going to be ugly and stupid, right? Like I think he deleted the podcast. I was like, because he hates me. But my whole point was like, it's not going to like, oh my god, it's going to take over your jobs. No, it's just going to make everything ugly and stupid. And over the years, my prediction has come true. Like all the AI stuff is not good. It's just slop. It's just ugly and stupid, you know? And I don't even believe for a fact that, like that there was a whole story about the novelist that was supposed to get $2 million for his book. And, people are like, oh, see, it fooled even like the prize committees and stuff. But then you find out that the guy was black. So you're like, no, it didn't fool them. They're just happy that black guy was, wrote a good book, so they were like, here's $2 million, right? It was just another like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like it was they're virtue signaling. They didn't read the shit, right? So it's the literary, like if like any black dude that's like semi gay or something puts out like a book, they'll throw money at it, so it's not shocking, right? It has nothing to do with the AI that they discussed. It was in spite of the AI that they did it, but I kind of took a bit of a I got kind of butthurt about that. Not really, right? Because I like Clancy, but podcasting is not in a way slop, right? It's not in the same category as AI slop. And here's why. It's not just because I've been doing this podcast for 3 years now. It's when that I genuinely enjoy podcasts, right? I really enjoy podcasts. I enjoy listening to them, and I listen to a lot of podcasts on my drives. And Jason's is fantastic. Jason and Johnson of Dix, their podcast together, it's fantastic. If you haven't listened to them, I listen to the Bret Easton Ellis podcast is my favorite podcast. Then there's the Art of Darkness podcast. There's Method and Madness podcast, which is fantastic. I like Red Scare. All right. There's a lot of good stuff, right? But here's the thing, right? And I said this in a comment, and this is where I stand by it. The most autistic, retarded autism podcast slash YouTube video, of a guy like, itemizing his Warhammer figurines is better than all the AI output combined. All right. Hands down, because it's human. That's all that matters, right? Like a human speaking or a human, talking and communicating has more value than all the AI slop combined. Okay. And that's why I kind of took, because think about it this way. My young daughter, she's an artist. She's a self-proclaimed artist, right? And when she brings me one of her artworks, and it's like she drew her favorite anime character, or some demon slayer character, and it looks like it's done by a 7-year-old when she brought it to me, right? And I think it's fantastic. I love it because it's her art, it's her communication, right? It's her vision of the world, or of the things she loves. But my daughter can also go and turn on a laptop, or pick up her tablet, and you know, enter a prompt into a thing and create this like near perfect artwork. This She can create a near perfect, you know, image of a Demon Slayer character or her other favorite anime or whatever, and she can print that and give it to me, right? Say, oh, I made this. It has no value. There's nothing of her in that, right? It's just a simulacrum of her ideas, right? So that's how I feel, right? It the idea of like, yes, there's a lot of slop out there in the podcast world, in the YouTube world, but slop that is created by humans still has more value than AI slop. All right. Because in a way, it's not the output of the AI that sucks. It's the fact that it's not human that sucks. Right. Because like theoretically, an AI prompted novel can be good, right? But it's never going to be good because you're going to read it and you're going to know. As long as you know, it has no meaning. And I have a feeling that like even if you don't know, the truth will come out in the reading. There's going to be something missing, something wrong about it. And I don't know, that's how I feel. So that's why, right? So the question is like, why do we podcast? Well, okay, so the other thing that kind of bothered me is the idea that the podcast is this kind of inferior format, and I disagree. Right, I disagree. Um, the reality is, in the last decade or so, since I've been listening to podcasts, some of the best, most like informative and edifying and like entertainment I've had has been through podcasts. Like, I think the first podcast that I started listening to regularly was the what is hardcore history, right? I got into like listening to podcasts while driving around with hardcore history, right? And I loved it, right? And I know he's kind of gone off the deep end and he's not great anymore, but those early episodes were great. I still remember him sparking that interest in the Anabaptists, and the best episode of hardcore history is on the Munster Rebellion, in my opinion, because it's such a weird kind of thing. And then from there, I ended up moving to more entertainment podcasts. I listened to Bret Easton Ellis. He's the author of American Psycho. He's a great guy, and he's super entertaining as a weekly podcast. Um, I love it. He talks about movies and growing up in Los Angeles, and he has some great guests. He's had everybody from Quentin Tarantino to Billy Corgan on there. Um, and I've discovered so much great art and novels and movies, all from listening to podcasts, right? The Art of Darkness is another fantastic podcast. I've learned so much about authors and their lives. There are so many books that I own right now that were initially like talked about either on Bret Easton Ellis podcast or on the Art of Darkness or any of the other podcasts I listen to. And that right there is the whole point, right? The whole point is to share culture, to not be gatekeepers of culture, but be tastemakers of culture and have these conversations that we can't have anymore because we are missing these third places. So I think, turning up your nose at podcasts and this form of entertainment is stupid. It's just dumb. And most of all, podcasts, at least like this one and a lot of them, are just done independently. It's just, one guy doing them, it's just Jason studying and writing essays, with John about the South and the Civil War and, you know, Kansas and all this stuff, and it's done with love. And you can listen to like Jason's podcast, right? And you understand that like he has a love and a passion for the subject. And that right there is more valuable than, your 100th, $1 billion iteration of the Odyssey or whatever Hollywood slop is out there, like, dude, I would rather spend 5 hours listening, to somebody talk about, I don't know, the life of an author or something like that, like on The Art of Darkness, than spend 3 hours, watching Matt Damon like pretend to be, freaking Odysseus, right? It's boring to me, like it's just, I don't know. So for you guys that are new that haven't like listened there, if you go all the way back in the archives, there's a first episode of the Black Ibis Social Club. This is when it was still called the Dicenius Review, and then decide to rebrand later. But if you go back, I kind of explained why I started this podcast. And I started this podcast because I miss going to the coffee shop. All right, there's two things I really, really missed from growing up. I missed the radio. And what I mean I missed the radio is I miss DJs. I always had this like I always really enjoyed like talk radio in the morning. Like in Southern California, we had K Rock, KROQ, Los Angeles, Kevin and Bean, and that stuff was always a blast, like listening to these guys and they were picking music and they would comment on music and they would do these shows. I always loved like the video DJs, like sorry guys, my cat's trying to kill me real fast. I need to give me 1 second to throw her out real fast. Sorry, my cat was walking across my computer. But yeah, so I used to listen to these DJs, right? And I just really thought that was cool. And I don't know if you guys are old enough or even caught this. Some of you are probably old enough. There used to be this television show. It was actually a Canadian show. So Lisa Kuznak probably knows this show. She can, if she listens or she tunes in later, she can tell us what it is. There was this Canadian show, and it was a vampire show. It was called Forever Night, right? And Forever Night, it was a show about like a vampire cop. It was a Canadian show. It was made in Canada, but I think it was on the Sci-Fi Network or something like that during in the afternoon. I used to love it when I was like in elementary school, middle school. And in this show, there was this like radio station that they would listen to, and this radio station was run by a vampire, right? And or some kind of entity that would always kind of like give clues to what was going on in the city. So if you're a crazy night dweller in this city, I think it was like in Toronto or something, or Vancouver, and all the vampires tuned in to like the goth radio, and in between like weird, vampire goth music, you would have these like this like DJ, I think it was a woman if I remember correctly, that would kind of give clues to like the serial killer is stalking the streets or something like that, And I thought that was such a cool like a cool trope. And the X-Files kind of used the whole thing with the lone gunman and the message boards. There was a bunch of like role playing it, and I always loved that trope of like the DJ or the late night radio station that had clues, that people followed. There's that really famous radio program called Coast to Coast. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, where people would call in about like alien abductions and conspiracy theories and that whole type of thing. I don't know why that's just such a trope that I think is just really cool. The trope of like the late night guy hopping on like the radio waves in the middle of the night, and the only people listening are like the weirdos, and on the other side of like the static, like there's something strange going on, or there's communication. You can do the same kind of trope with like a message board, like a Reddit type thing, or like a chat room where people go and post, like a Facebook, like town square or whatever, right? That'd be kind of cool. It's like horror sci-fi story, right? Like the local town square message board where like women. So anyways, that I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that trope, and I enjoy the idea of the DJ. And San Diego, if you lived in San Diego, there was a really good morning talk show that I used to listen to before going to work sometimes when I was in San Diego, and I really enjoyed it. But they're all gone now. They all got fired, they got laid off, it's been replaced by AI. And I think the loss of the DJ is like something it's just really sad. There's this listening to music and having like like playlists and stuff is cool, but it's so much better when somebody else, right, is picking it up for you. You know what I mean? When somebody else is like sharing like what they like with you. Like, Spotify does this like the AI DJ stuff and DJ X or whatever. But it's so much cooler when you get a playlist like a like a cassette tape, right? From somebody like you used to know. It's like, hey man, you should listen to this. This is good. You will like this, or I like this, or this is what I listen to, There's just something extra meaningful about that we've lost as a culture because of these like automated AI tastemakers. And I think we should take that back. So that's one of the elements that kind of made me want to do this podcast. That I want this DJ connection thing. And this live thing we're doing right now, I think is really cool. All right. I really think it's cool, right? It's over the years it's become one of my favorite part of my week. Like I look forward to like reading the comments, and sometimes we'll have 20 people in the chat, and then other days we'll have 300 400 people, and it's like I can't keep up with it, and there's just something, I just enjoy this, right? So that's one element. The other element is I grew up in Long Beach, California, right? And hey, welcome Fisto.
Hey, what's up, man?
We're talking about I don't know if we were listening at all, but we were talking about
Just for a moment, I was hearing all the parts about how you love Fisto and that this is your greatest part of your life.
right.
That's what I heard.
This is the greatest part of my life. No, we're talking about why we're doing this podcast. We're kind of we're kind of answering that. So we talked about how I missed the idea of the DJ. I missed the idea of and honestly, man, if I had money, guys, right, I would do a live stream show where I'm like spinning music. But of course, you have to have like licenses and all. But how cool would that be?
That's such
I could
a great
just
idea.
spin music on like
Old school radio show.
Yeah, it'd be like
go.
Fisto and Alex like dubstep hour or something like that. Goth rock, death rock from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
I've always wanted to be a morning talk show host. I've always thought, man, what a cool job. Just get on the radio. Yeah. Like I could do the fart noises, and I could just kind of be like that fucking moron, like in the corner, just doing dumb shit. And then
it would be like,
you say all the important stuff.
Welcome to King Retard 106.666, spinning the greatest, hardest, most wicked goth music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s at Club Depravity. On Substack.
Shut up, retard. It's great. It's amazing.
Right, that would be the coolest thing. But I don't even know what would it take to be able to like spin music on like Substack on live stream. There's got to be like a law, right? We'd probably go to jail. I'd owe like 30. I'd have to look up the. I know radio stations like pay royalties and stuff, so I don't know.
I mean, that's something we could figure out, or we should give it a go, and hope nobody notices. An option.
Yeah, like an indie, like a college indie radio station, right?
Pirate radio, just whatever.
Yeah, we'll see. Money. That'd be cool as fuck, right? I would totally do that. Like I got a huge record collection. I got all kinds of music. I'm spinning all kinds of mad tunes.
Hey, Alex, they can't sue you for all your worth if you're already flat broke.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They will take my bone marrow straight to Israel or whatever. They'll pulverize your bones.
Yeah.
They're gonna
bone marrow straight to Hillary Clinton.
They're gonna milk your bone marrow. They'll figure, those vampires will figure it.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not messing with the record companies. I'm not messing with the record companies, bro. Are you crazy? Those are owned by like Weisensteins and shit like that. Straight.
Weisenstein? What's even a Weisenstein?
A Weisenstein, like a.
Weisenstein. I thought you said Rise.
Rabbis and shit own the record companies. I'm not messing with that.
Should I drink water, or do I need to crack open a beer?
You crack open a beer, man. It's a beer. It's 110 degrees out here in South Carolina, man.
I got this local cream ale. Like one of my favorites.
In SoCal, there used to be this. I don't know. I think it's still there, but we'd have to ask what's his name down in SoCal. But then there was this beer called California Creamin', and it was like a vanilla cream, like light beer. Oh, so good, so good. It's crisp and creamy.
Yeah, if you ever make your way out this way, there is an actual legit decent microbrew just up the road. So like middle of the swamp, still got a good microbrew winning.
Is it all just IPAs though? I'm tired of IPAs.
They have an IPA, but like no, this is it's like lagers and cream ale, and stouts, and they got everything, man.
There's a good one out of Atlanta that sells beer out here, and that's really good. I forgot what it's called, but that's like I always get the one out of Atlanta.
The beer was a good idea. Thanks, chat.
Man, I wish I would have gotten a beer. Now, the other reason we started the podcast, and I explained this in the episode 0 of the podcast. If you want to go back to episode 0, it's actually labeled as episode 0 because there's no guest yet. So growing up, besides wanting to be a radio DJ on Coast to Coast and talk about alien abductions and butt probes or whatever they talked about on that, or to be a lone gunman on the X-Files. Did you ever want to be a lone? That's what I wanted to be. I didn't want to be Mulder. I wanted to be one of the lone gunmen. That was kind of my thing.
I kind of wanted to be the cigarette smoking man, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I want to be too. Like, I want to be the lone gunman. But besides that, I used to hang out at a lot of coffee shops. And remember, I grew up in the 90s. I came of age in the 2000s. I'm a true millennial, as in like I turned 18 in 2001. All right, so I'm a true millennial. Like I came of age in the millennium, but I grew up in the 90s, right? And the 90s in California were, I don't know if for you younger guys, you guys probably not even going to believe this, but it was the era of the coffee shop. Do you remember that, Fisto? Like I think Friends started that.
Yeah.
Everything was coffee shops.
The punk rock coffee shop. That was
right,
the thing in Cleveland.
Punk rock coffee shop.
Yeah.
And there were so many cool ones.
There was that one punk rock coffee shop with like the really hot goth chick, and you were just like, "Oh my god!"
Right,
but you never talked to her because you were a pussy. You know what I mean?
I talked to her.
Maybe that was just me.
Yeah, I talk. Usually my girlfriend. Or I worked there. Best job ever. So there's a few good ones there was a few good ones where I lived there. So I started going to coffee shops when I was like in middle school because there was one right down the street from our house. We used to skateboard to it. We used to hang out there. I remember I was like an 8th grader, and this girl I had this huge crush on. Right, her name is Marcy. I miss her to this day. It's been
Marcy. I had a crush on Marcy.
Yeah,
she was hot.
Yeah, Marcy was like the
hot.
the good blonde girl.
Yeah, she was a brunette.
She was like, let's meet at the coffee shop and drink coffee and talk and stuff. And I went. I was so nervous, right, that I actually drank like maybe 12 espressos or something like that. An Americano espresso. Actually, I was drinking red eyes. Right, like red eyes, which for you guys that don't know what a red eye is, it's a cup of black coffee with a shot of espresso in it. Right?
You drank 12 of those?
Yeah, I drank like 12 of those, and I was so nervous.
You
and like,
when she showed up, just.
Well, no, it was during our conversation, so I probably talked like a million miles a minute. But I remember I went home that night and I fell asleep with my eyes open. Right, I was actually dreaming with my eyes open. Right, I was like Rust Cole. I was like Rust Cole and motherfucking True Detective. I'm like, I don't sleep. I just dream. I'm sitting there fucking wide awake, sleeping,
bombed out of your mind.
Only one of my brain hemispheres was asleep. You know, it was horrible. Right, I had the shakes. It was awesome. Right, dude, like it was awesome.
I drink a lot of coffee, and even after like 2 red eyes, I'm like that. So I can't even imagine 12.
I have cut down to only 2 pots of coffee a day.
Only 2.
And I've been drinking the that Mexican brand Bustelo or whatever.
Yes.
I love that Bustelo. That's my
brand, boy.
That's my brand too, because you can buy the big old yellow jug.
Yeah,
Bustelo.
You try the green stuff. I tried the green stuff.
Yeah,
the green stuff's great.
I think that the best coffee you can make at home, the best method of coffee brewing at home, is the French press. But the problem with the French press, I can't get enough volume, because what I do is the night before I prep my coffee maker. Right.
Yeah.
And it's fresh and ready in the morning. I have 1 pot of coffee. I have 1 big mug of coffee. And then I fill up my to-go like Starbucks. I have like one of those the metal ones that's really cool because it's the California one, and it pisses off all my coworkers because I have a California one. But then I also have another travel. So I have 2 travel mugs, one for work and one for the drive to work. So I drink an entire pot of coffee before leaving the house, basically, right? And then I usually have another pot of coffee at work when I get there, and I'll have like a few Red Bulls when I'm there too. Um, I have gone. I've become much better because I used to drink like 2 pots of coffee before bed back in the day, and yeah,
Incredible.
I drank a lot of caffeine. I used to
Yeah.
drink espressos for fun, but
My coffee,
I'm old. I'm no longer fun.
my
But
coffee routine is get to class or get to school,
mhm,
go fill up. I actually only drink about 3/4 of a pot.
mhm.
But I drink it real dark. So
Yeah, I don't put
my
any sugar.
coffee, yeah, no, black coffee all day,
Black
which like
only.
freaks the students out because I think I'm the first person that they ever meet in their life that drinks coffee black. And then among the faculty, my brew is getting to be known as jet fuel.
Yeah,
So like, yeah, it's just jet fuel. Watch out, man.
yeah.
Good times.
I love caffeine. I can't quit caffeine, man. I quit everything else, but caffeine, I
No,
won't quit. You know, not gonna happen.
caffeine doesn't
No,
like a quitter. All right,
no, no. It's just it's like you gotta have something. I also enjoy.
there's
I
nothing wrong
did,
with that.
for
It's
my
fine.
own. One time I went and saw a witch. Did I ever tell you this? I saw a witch one time.
No, you
So
didn't tell me that.
there was this like tarot card reader, holistic medicine witch in Ventura County, California.
All right,
And a friend of mine said, "Hey man, you have to go see her. Like she's really good. Like
yeah.
she's gonna do some weird stuff, and she's gonna like, she's gonna do some stuff, So I go to this like this herbal supplement witch store, right?
All
And
right, like you do.
I expected some like old ass hippie, right? Um, and it wasn't. It was like this young girl, and I'm like, what the fuck,
Uh-oh.
right? And she's like, oh, we're gonna do reflexology. Do you know what reflexology is?
I've heard of it. I just can't remember. It escapes me.
So it's like Chinese. It's like Chinese black magic, where like they like basically like feel your feet, and they kind of do like this foot massage thing, and like they
Oh,
push
okay.
different pressure
Yeah.
points,
Yeah.
and they can diagnose you. It's like Chinese traditional medicine,
Right. Sure.
I'm actually gonna I'm gonna get a link to this place where I went to. Okay.
Hey, speaking of weird, speaking of stuff, I was standing here in just my boxers a minute ago. I just thought chat would like to know that.
Hmm.
I got home. I'm changing right now, guys. You're basically at home with me in my closet right now, fellas. We're just hanging out, talking about witch stuff. Taking
Okay,
my
so let me
pants
tell you,
off.
you have to cut and paste it because Substack's stupid, right? But this is where I went,
Yeah.
right?
All
Okay,
right.
so you cut and paste it off the chat. All right, so I went and saw
I'll take a
Emma,
look at it in a
right?
minute. Yeah.
I saw Emma, right? And she did like I booked her and everything because this Master Chief in the Navy, he's like, no, you gotta go. You gotta go. She's amazing, right? I'm like, all right, cool. So I went
Okay.
there.
Are Emma's
Like,
always hot?
I don't remember like if she was hot or not, but
I have like a 50-50 with Emma's.
yeah.
Anyway.
She's just young, she's younger than
Yeah,
me,
well,
right?
right.
And like normal looking. There might be a picture of her on here. I don't know, right?
She's still
Let me
working there.
She has to still be working. Let me see, because it's like named after her, right? Like that'd be weird
Oh,
if she doesn't
really?
work in her own. Let me see if there's a picture of her. Hold
This
on.
feels like a very cyberpunk kind of business too.
Yeah, like she was basically
Like
like
ancient
like
Chinese.
the girlfriend from
Yes.
Cyberpunk. What's her name?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, it was very much like that, right?
Yeah, the tarot card one.
Yeah, the tarot card girl, right? So anyway, so she's
Yes.
like feeling my feet or something and all this junk, right? And
Watch. That's gonna be what Substack clips. So she
oh
was like
yeah,
feeling my
yeah.
feet or
Okay,
something
so
real
her
young.
name wasn't. If you go to the about page, like more, and then there's an about page, right? There's like pictures of them, and I saw Sarah,
Okay.
right? That's what I saw, right? She's the owner, right?
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if you can see it on the website. Anyway, so I saw
I'll have to
Sarah,
check in a
right?
minute. Yeah.
And she's all like, she like does some like black magic on my feet, right? And she goes, how much caffeine do you drink? Jesus, your adrenal glands are fried. I'm like, what? How do you know? She's like, she goes, you like, you're so bad on caffeine intake that like if you stop drinking caffeine throughout the day, you immediately go to bed. And I'm like, yeah, wow. How'd you know? You know what I mean? Like, and I remember I didn't like she didn't ask me anything or any of that stuff, right? She was
Can
like,
you just feel your caffeine aura? You're
dude,
incandescent.
she said that like I'm just like that my adrenal glands were fried. Now, okay, I don't,
She could
it's
see
a
your adrenal glands just popping out of
medical, like
your
the whole
back.
adrenal gland thing is of dubious medical, like
Yeah.
but it's like my pineal gland being open close to fluoride or
Yeah, so
whatever,
your third eye chakra had been
yeah. So
over caffeinated.
basically I fried my adrenal glands, which are, by the way, if you don't know where your adrenal glands are, they're on top of your kidneys, right?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
two of them. But you know
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
interesting though? My adrenal glands are calcified because I was looking at a
Mm.
CAT scan I had of myself because sometimes I like to get weird imaging on myself and look inside my body.
Yeah, who doesn't? Who
Who
doesn't?
doesn't? Who
Yeah,
doesn't
come on.
want like a week's worth of radiation for fucking shits and giggles except me,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. This is
So
aristocratic behavior.
you don't you radiate yourself at work by for fun? No.
Yeah.
So yeah,
BPD
I,
art host? No, 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 no.
no,
X-rays is where it's
I,
at,
I get
friends.
I get CAT scans and MRIs on myself for fun. But no, there was
Yeah,
a
of course.
I was looking through a CAT scan, actually after I talked to Emma's herb, and my adrenal glands are calcified. Now,
Huh.
calcification in your adrenal glands indicates a history of like some significant infection, and I've had some like bad infections. Had like a liver abscess one time, which I got from drinking well water in Afghanistan and almost dying.
Hmm.
But
Had to get
you
that
know,
coffee.
I don't know,
Brewing
man.
coffee.
Like it was pretty impressive that she like knew that I was not only, and this is like I was drinking so much caffeine back then when I went to her that like I would actually like I would get home from work and those giant like Red Bulls, the biggest
Yeah.
can you can get. I used to
Yeah.
pound one of those and then take a nap.
Jeez.
Got just like pound one and nap, right?
Pound one in
And
that. Yeah,
yeah,
hold
I'm
on. I
like
gotta drink this Red Bull. I need a nap.
yeah,
Like
that's how much
what?
caffeine I was drinking, right? I was
Red Bull gives you Z's, not
yeah,
wings. They give
yeah,
you
yeah.
Z's.
I would drink Red Bulls before bed, and it was, and when I'd go out drinking, I'd drink Red Bull vodkas, and I'm just like a Red Bull all day. I love Red Bull. I
You
still had a
know,
Red Bull today.
what's the funniest thing for me, man, is the fact that we're friends, but in high school, I would have been like, "You're a fucking drug addict. Stay away from me." I'd have been like, I'm not hanging out with him. He does drugs and talks to girls. Are you crazy?
I did not do drugs that much, right?
That much. That much.
I was moderately.
You're talking to the good little Christian kid who's like,
Uh,
yeah, drink beer? Are you crazy? I'll go straight to hell.
yeah, I can
Oh,
never
that's funny.
afford drugs. I was too poor to afford drugs. Drugs are expensive. That's for rich kids,
That's
man.
true. That's
Like
true.
I did cocaine once and I was like, oh God, this is amazing. I can't afford it.
Right.
Like,
That was the one experience I had with morphine. I'm like, yeah, no, I can see why this is not to be
yeah,
recommended for recreational
I'll
use.
be sucking dick for this shit if I keep it up, It's like so
I
it's
won't
nope,
even.
nope.
Yeah, yeah. I just won't even feel it. I won't even feel
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's fine.
Like if I was a
Just give
if
me the
like
morphine first.
if I was me, but a girl, like if I was a female,
Oh, jeez.
and I was like an
No.
attractive female, I would totally be a drug addict because I'd like
Yeah.
be able to get drugs for free, by
Yeah.
partying and stuff. But as a
Yeah.
dude,
No.
as a
You need
straight
money.
dude, a
You need
straight dude doesn't
money.
get free drugs. You know what I mean?
No.
Like who like
Straight dude pays
if I
for
was a gay
drugs.
dude, yeah, if I was a gay dude, I'd get free drugs all the time when I was young. I was pretty. I mean, I showed you guys
No, no,
pictures of
no.
myself in my 20s, I was a
Alex. The straight dude pays for drugs like the fat chick pays for sex. All right. That's just how that
exactly.
is. That's just how it
Exactly.
is,
It's just
guys.
it's the truth of the universe, my dudes. You know what I mean? And that's what happened when I was hanging out with my rich friend and we went on a little
Yeah,
little coke
there it is.
binger for a few days. And I was like,
That's
man,
fine.
that was amazing. And then I realized I'm like, you know what? I'm not Jewish. I cannot afford this. My friend was. That's why he had to
Can't
come.
afford coke.
Right? I'm like, I can't afford this shit, I don't got Hollywood Jewish parents. I'm going to be doing things for this, which are of
So,
criminal ways.
so I have a question. I think I know the answer, but if you're a gay Jewish guy, do you pay for coke?
That's redundant.
You wouldn't pay for coke because you're a Jewish dude. You'd be like, nah, discount.
Yeah, no, and you're getting it unless you're old and ugly, right? Like you have to be like cute, right? You have to be like a twink,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
You can't
Yeah,
just be like an
yeah.
ugly dude,
No
like
ugly fags. None of that
right.
shit. Get out of here.
Like it's the ugly dudes that are paying for it and buying it for like the cuter guys. So that, but
Ah,
like But as a
Oh,
straight dude,
fucking
you don't even have that
oh.
opportunity, you know? Like as a straight dude in Los Angeles, you're just the guy from like under the Silver Lake, you know? Like you just go into the party and you might get the cookie, but you get to hang out with Balloon Girl and that's
Oh
it, you
man,
know? Like you don't get invited to the creepy party, you know? You don't get to go to the
my my skin crawled when you were saying that. The old dude just oh,
yeah, you
no
know?
thanks.
But
Oh
yeah, man,
man.
we got sidetracked. We're talking about witches and drugs. We were talking about the value of podcasting. But
Yes.
anyways, what I was saying,
Well, hey,
my dudes.
real quick,
Yeah,
kind of like last episode. 15 minutes after I arrive, Silver Lake posting.
I know, I know, I know,
Whoa, straight
I
to it.
know.
There are no breaks. There are no
I
breaks.
I just do love that movie. I was actually looking at like
It's a great movie.
it's a
Oh,
great movie.
dude, check this out. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. But today in class, we got on the topic of movies, and some of my kids were like, "Yeah, we like old movies," and I'm like, "Hitchcock," and they're like, "Who?" I got legitimately mad in class. I'm like, "Listen, I'm signing you homework right now," and then I threw 4 Hitchcock films up on the board. Said, watch these, and get back to me."
What is the best Hitchcock movie?
uh well, the four. Okay, so the four, because remember, this is in like the blood coffee haze of teaching. But
Right.
I the films I threw up on the board because they said they liked horror, so I put Psycho up there.
Okay, that's a classic, right? That's the
Classic,
like
right?
that's the horror movie, right?
Yeah, exactly. I put Rope. Rope is a personal favorite. Rear Window. I really like that one, and then North by Northwest because I
Hmm.
love Cary Grant because he's a fucking sleaze, total sleaze bag. So yeah, I really enjoy those 4 films. So I threw them up
I
there and said, "Go watch it, you plebs."
Okay, I have actually a question for you. I have a
Yeah,
question
go
for
ahead.
you. And this is
That's
a
fine.
question for everybody in the chat, and I would
Okay.
love to hear it. What is the first movie you have a memory of like seeing? Like what movie like is there like a movie that was like seared into your brain that like you had like images from when you were like a little kid?
There's one that I can't think of. It was some animation and it was really creepy and it had like existential dread in it. I don't know why I was watching it, but I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it. Um, but the 2 films I can say right off the bat, Transformers the movie, like
Like
the
the
original
cartoon?
old school. Yeah, the old school original one, the one with Leonard Nimoy in it, the one that was Orson Welles' last acting role before he died. That one. And Batman, the original Batman.
Okay, the one with Michael Keaton, the Tim
Yeah,
Burton Batman. Okay.
yeah, that was my first PG-13 movie. That's why that stands out to me because it was like a big deal. I was going to get to watch a PG-13 movie.
Oh yeah, that was 1989. I think the movie was a rated R movie, dude.
Was
Wait,
it?
let me
Was it
see.
rated R? Was I only told it was PG-13? Because that's entirely possible, knowing my family.
Let me see. Team Pin Batman movie. Oh no, it's PG-13. Yeah,
I thought so. My
yeah.
memory serves.
I feel like is the Returns rated R?
I don't remember. Yeah, it might have been.
I remember seeing Batman Returns in the theaters. I remember my mom and dad took me to that. The PG-13 too. I feel like Batman Returns was kind of scary. My daughter, like, I watched it with my daughter, and she thought the Penguin was scary the first time we watched it. You know, but I
Well,
love.
Danny DeVito's kind of scary the first time you watch
It'd
it.
be so
So,
good. Him
oh
and
yeah, he's
Michelle
awesome.
Pfeiffer. Him and Michelle Pfeiffer steal that movie. You know, they just, dude, they kill it. Michelle Pfeiffer's
$100%.
so hot in that movie. We're talking about that at work today. Like how like
Really?
Anne
You were talking about Batman today?
yeah, because I was talking how much I hate like Michael Nolan movies and how
Yes.
much like I hate like Anne Hathaway and
Yeah.
like and okay, and this is what I was telling my friend, and he kind of argued with me, but then after I put my I put down my point, right? He agreed. He actually like he succumbed to my logic and agreed with me, right? And
You
here's
succumb to the superior wisdom.
he's because he is 23, so I
Yeah, 23-year-olds don't know anything.
yeah. So I said that Anne Hathaway is beautiful, right? She's a very beautiful woman, but she's not hot. She's in a like Anne Hathaway in a way is kind of like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, he like he exudes anti-sexuality. Like, have you ever seen like in Vanilla Sky, like that kind of like sex scene he's in or whatever?
Yeah.
It's almost like opposite of sexy because he's like really weird and kind of gay and like weird, but he's like not like, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
Tom
just
Cruise. No. Tom Cruise is an asexual being.
right, and
Yeah,
I feel this,
he's just an act like it's just Tom Cruise. Like there's no sex drive. There's no sex appeal. It's the dude's
and I
like four
feel
foot
the same
six.
way. Yeah, I feel the same way about Anne Hathaway, right? Like she's beautiful, but I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
She's not like hot, right? And if you compare her to somebody like, for example, Alexandra Daddario, right? From, True Detective or White Lotus, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I
Alexandra
think so.
Daddario,
Yeah.
right? She's kind of the same type of like body type, and she's kind of like a poor man's Anne Hathaway, really, but
Mm.
she is so much hotter. She's not as beautiful as Anne Hathaway, but she is hotter, you know? And
Yeah.
the problem with Anne Hathaway, when you like, Catwoman is all about S&M kink, okay?
Yes. 100%.
Even the original like cheesy Batman, like the
Oh yeah.
the show, like the one with like
Everybody. Yeah.
Adam
Adam
West,
West. Yeah. Everybody
it
knows.
still
Everybody knows.
has like a kink kind of element to Catwoman.
Well, that whole show was kind of like that though. Like the Adam West Batman was a little,
Yeah, it was a little fruity,
little
a little
swinger Batman.
homoerotic, a
Swinger
little bit,
Batman.
like
Yeah. 100%.
yeah, there's a little bit of that
Swing
going on, a little
man.
bit of little butt tapping, a little bit of S&M
It's
there going
fine. It's
on,
fine.
you know.
Hey, Robin,
A
how you
little,
doing?
he
You got to
rubbed a
pay for
little
your
boy
meals,
wonder.
man. You got to pay with something.
Yeah, but yeah, here's the thing: like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, zero sex appeal, man. Like there's just
Ugh.
nothing. She's just not like, she's just so, I don't know. There's just something dull about her,
Well, is
right?
it Anne Hathaway or is it the culture? Like Michelle
It's
Pfeiffer was allowed to be hot.
oh
Like
yeah,
that was
but
okay.
yeah, but like I don't know, man. Like okay, let's say like you had I don't know, what's her name? What the hell's her name? Sydney Sweeney as Catwoman. That'd be
Mm,
hot. That'd be hot.
yeah.
I
Oh
want
yeah.
Sydney Sweeney as
Yeah.
Catwoman. Just by
I can picture
default.
it easily.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
yeah.
Huh. That's actually really funny.
You know,
Just yep.
and to be honest, Sydney Sweeney is not as beautiful as Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is much more beautiful. I just don't see her as like a cat burglar. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just stupid. I don't know. There's something like I didn't like those movies at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of it to do with like Michael Nolan himself as a director is very, because my buddies are trying to convince me to go see the Odyssey in
No.
fucking in IMAX. And I'm
Absolutely
just like,
not.
I don't want to. I just don't want to go. They wanted me to go see 2 movies this like last 2 weeks, and I'm kind of being a jerk because I'm like no. There's like a hard no. I'm just not interested. When we see Spider-Man, and I heard it's good. I heard it's good. I just don't care, bro. I just don't care.
I've already seen Spider-Man like 15
yeah,
times. I don't care if it's. I've already seen good Spider-Man.
I'm not interested. I can't
Nah.
sit through 3 hours of that shit. And then the
No.
Odyssey, I read the book, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want, I saw, I liked it when it was like Xena and Kevin Sorbo. That's all the Greek myths I need, man. I don't need anything else.
You know what I'm happy about? You know what I'm happy about? So I've been talking a little bit about Animal Farm because we're going to read that this year as we do every year. And I'm really happy to say that like every kid that's mentioned in the movie, like their nose turns up, like they just smelled something foul.
Right. Like,
I'm really happy about that.
Well, and it might be wrong. Like I might be wrong, but Michael Nolan is he's an asexual director. In my opinion, there's only one movie. There's only one movie that I slightly enjoyed of his, and that's the Prestige. Right, I enjoyed the Prestige. Everything about Michael Nolan can be explained in Inception, right? A movie about dreams that has the most boring and uninspired dreams of all time. All right.
Listen, I'm going to quote the immortal Peter Venkman. Yes, that's correct. This man has no dick.
Exactly. Like last night I had a dream that I was making out with my wife on the beach, and every time the waves crashed, baby alligators were tossed onto the beach and they would come and walk up to me, right? And I would pet these baby alligators while I was like making out with my wife on this beach, right? That's a dream right there. That's a respectable dream, okay? Like the dreams in Inception are like a dude walking down the street or going skiing. Like how fucking lame, dude. You know what I
It's
mean?
not a dream. That's just a
Yeah,
thing that happens.
like watch David Lynch movies, and I'll show you a dream slash nightmare. You know that's right. But like
Yes.
the fact that he cannot even get dreams to feel like dreams, it just his movies are sexually sterile. Right? There's a
Sexually sterile.
sterility. There's a sterility in his movies, and I look
A
at the
medicinal sterility.
right, you look at
Yeah.
the Odyssey, and the Odyssey is about like, you know, it's about a guy passionate trying to get home, and the gods and all this stuff. And you know what the gods did, you know, back in those Greek myths, they fucked.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's what they did. You know,
Yes.
every Greek myth is
Michelle
about
Pfeiffer.
Zeus.
Michelle Pfeiffer as Athena. Let's go.
Yeah, coming down as like a cloud of piss and like impregnating a goat or something like that. That's all of Greek myths, right? I mean, Greeks are the
I
people
nearly
that
spit my beer.
yeah,
Damn.
Greeks basically
Oh god, I think
invent
it went up my nose. Fuck.
these are the people that invented homosexuality. So like,
Yeah, man.
you're telling me there's nothing there's not like nothing, like it looks so bland and sterile. The colors are dull. Like when I want to see Greek myths, I want to see like magic and like
Yeah.
I want it's got to be horny somehow. You know what I mean? It's got to have like
it has to be horny.
yeah. There's nothing
Yes.
about these. Everybody's like looks all serious and dour and just like fart faced, you know, like, and it's just like this, like, dude, oh my god, you know, like, and you got Odysseus, and he ties himself to the mast of the ship so he can you know, he can goon to the sirens, bro. You know what I mean? That's what he did. He's like, I got a goon so bad to these sirens.
I have to. I'm gonna risk death.
I'm gonna risk death. Tie me up. I'm a goon so hard to these sirens, you know? And there's nothing, dude. Michael Nolan, it has no dick. Dude, he's got no dick, dude. Like there's
this
nothing.
Man has no dick.
There's nothing
That's
sexual
right,
in any of his movies, dude.
That's right,
it's
Mr.
like
Man.
it's like Interstellar. All the nerds like Interstellar. That movie is so fucking boring. It's like, ooh, went to space and Matt Damon. What the fuck is Matt Damon still in movies? Like, dude, look, I'm a 43-year-old man. Okay, I am tired of seeing guys as action heroes that were old when I was a teenager.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Like, where the fuck do we got Matt Damon's fucking old ass out there Odysseusing around and shit? I want to see. Is there no new dudes? You know, like, look, no homo, but I want to see like a young dude doing, you know, doing stuff and killing shit. I don't want to see a bunch of geezers jerked up on fucking testosterone supplements and boner pills, dude.
Well, you know what it is. You know what it is that if they put a young masculine hero up on screen, then the Zoomer Waffen will rise. And
yeah, dude, like
this movie, cocaine, man. So
yeah, this movie's like a geezer parade. How old is Anne Hathaway?
87 at minimum. No, she's 87. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Just we don't know things anymore.
Do you want to know how old she is?
I told you she's
43 she's 43 years old, right? She's actually almost a year older than me.
Wait, hold on. I'm older than Anne Hathaway?
Yeah, by 1 year.
What the fuck is that?
She was born in November 12th, 1982. November 12th, 1982, right?
1982. Bunch of
43 years. Man, she's going to be 44 years old, man. Okay? Like I don't want to see 44-year-old women. I want to see like 20-year-old women, okay? Like I want
Alex, do you want to see 44-year-old Fisto? No, you don't.
No, nobody wants to see my ass, you know? Like I want to see young people doing young like movies are supposed to be a fantasy. They're supposed to be aspirational, okay? I don't want to see action movies with geezers in them. I'm tired of fucking Brad Pitt, bro. Like I'm tired of Brad Pitt and all these old geezers.
Geezers are supposed to be the villains in this shit.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be like the manipulative machination, like hiding in the shadows, like like Darth Palpatine, whatever the fuck, and then like the young, vibrant. You know,
like they're doing another Pirates of the Caribbean movie, bringing out another junkie ass. You know what's his name? Like, yeah, dragging his junkie ass.
Years old too. Everyone's 87 years old.
That dude is basically like he's basically Keith Richards now. Like he's like he's become
which is the worst because Keith Richards played his fucking father in the film.
Yeah,
I was just I'm just gonna do the meme.
And like we're talking about, I don't know, man. I just don't get it, dude. Like it's so stale. We're living in a gerontocracy, man. Like we're just for real.
Alex. In class today, I had a couple of students bring up. They're like, "Mister, I don't think the Holocaust happened."
Oh,
Just
whoa,
straight up
come on. You
approach.
got let me mark
Appropriate is
this.
nothing.
Let me mark this for editing on the later so in the YouTube
No, no,
video.
no, no. Look, and I'm talking to him, right? Because like I want to keep things on track, but I've also made it clear that they can talk about my class. Like very little I won't talk about. And I said, guys, listen. The 20th century was a corpse production machine. That's all it was. All right. So whether or not it happened, at the end of the day, I don't think it fucking cares because go talk to the Russians, go talk to anybody, right? Yeah. Killing millions of people, that's just the 20th century. But I realized something, and I think this relates to our discussion. People make a lot of the Holocaust these days because it's all they teach because they can't think of anything better because it's a degenerate, decaying culture. There's no life left in the culture, so we're just going to teach the same thing over and over again.
Right.
That's why you get to see Anne Hathaway at 120 years old playing Penelope or whatever the fuck, because it's just they're out of ideas. It's just dead.
Old.
It's just
It's
dead.
old, man. It's old.
It's
And
zombie. Listen,
and
the 20th century. Look, the 20th century was about making corpses. The 21st century is about making zombies.
right. And if you guys notice, I
Right?
named this episode Burnout, right? And the reason I named it Burnout
Yes,
is
it's
because
burnout.
I'll be honest,
Everything
guys.
is burned.
I wrote this whole monologue. I wrote it like in my head because I don't actually write anything down because I don't believe in putting anything down on paper because
Why would you write anything down? That's gay. It's like super gay.
Yeah, but what I wanted, what the whole point was, if you guys remember my favorite movie like I'm 43 years old, man, and like after having like I've been on one, a little bit of a depression, a little bit of a major depressive disorder is what I'm I think officially diagnosed with, right? True story. All right.
Yeah.
And especially after I had my major surgery where I had 3 of my vertebrae, fused with titanium and everything. And for the first time in my life, I felt a little bit weak. And listen, I've been kicking ass. I've been doing physical therapy twice a week, and I'm back to running. I'm back to lifting. My surgeon and my physical therapist are both like, "Wow, man, you've bounced back so fast in like less than 3 months."
Nice.
And
nice. That's great. That's great.
Right, but at the same time, that near death experience, of like, like major surgery and like not being able to move my upper body at all, like, for a few days, that made me feel like I felt weak for the first time. I felt my weakness, my strength leaving me. And if you remember in The Great Beauty, there's this scene very early on in the movie, and our boy, Jep, he goes home with this girl he meets, and she's this rich girl, and he sleeps with her, and they're laying in bed, and she's like, "Oh, do you want me to show you pictures of my sexy pictures or something like that?" And she's like, "I'm gonna go get my laptop." So she walks away, and it cuts to a scene of him on the balcony. He's overlooking he's on his beautiful balcony overlooking Rome at night, and he's like, I decided after turning 60 that I am not going to do things I don't want to do anymore, and I'm misquoting it, but that's kind of the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
And he leaves. He doesn't even wait for her to come with the laptop. He just leaves the scene. Right?
Just bails.
I do
not want to look at your Facebook.
Right. And I've been feeling like that, man. I'm over doing shit I don't want to do. Okay. I've come to the point where like, do you want to go see Spider-Man? No, I don't. No. I don't fucking want to sit through a 3-hour goddamn fucking movie about a fucking cartoon character that spits fucking sticky threads out of his hands, like it's stupid. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to watch a movie about the Odyssey. I don't want to do this. I used to like buy a book and I felt obligated to read the damn thing. Now, like I was reading this book and I was like, this sucks. Done. I don't want to read it anymore. Like I don't want to read this anymore. I started playing a video game. I'm like, this is stupid. I know I spent $20 on it, but fuck it. I don't give a shit. Delete, like I don't care. Delete. Like I don't like my wife's like, oh, so-and-so wants us for dinner, do you want to come? I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking come. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do anything I don't want to do anymore. Okay, like I am so over, like, and I don't fucking care about anything anymore, right? Like I am completely like over stuff, right? Like I'm so tired of the same conversation every single like, 3 months on Substack. Like, listen, let me tell you guys something, okay? when I first moved to the United States, I was a little kid. I was like 6, right? And the president was George Bush Sr. There's nothing different between George Bush Sr. than Bill Clinton. It's like George Bush Sr., he bombed a bunch of brown people in the Middle East. Clinton, he bombed a bunch of people. Obama, he bombed a bunch of people. Bush, he bombed a bunch of people. It's the same shit, dude. It's the same
empire bombs people
over and over. You know what I mean?
It does.
I actually flipped those two. It was Clinton, Bush, Obama, right? It's the same shit, right? Yeah, like all these guys that had Trump as the great hope, right? He was no different than he indistinguishable
and he bombed brown people in the Middle East
from the geezer before. All right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Obama was the great hope of like our generation. He was going to be different. He was going to bring America into a new intellectual, more liberal era. Nope. It was the same shit as George Bush, right? He spoke differently, but policy wise, it was the same exact shit. It's always the same exact fake and gay shit. You know what I mean? And I'm over it. I don't care anymore. I don't care because ultimately people are stupid fucking assholes. All of them. Almost everybody's retarded. And they're always going to vote for the most retarded shit. And I don't care anymore. Like, fuck it. You guys do whatever you want. You want to talk about immigration and all this stuff? I don't care. I don't give a shit if every fucking Muslim from Middle East to Africa invades Europe. People have been talking about this shit for years now. Nobody's doing anything, so I don't give a fuck anymore. You know what I mean? Why should I fret about that stuff?
My favorite post that you make recently is, this is just a reminder, the vast majority of you on here are retards.
Yeah, well, it's because oh no, Europe is getting invaded. My name is Cuck.
Down from the mountain.
Yeah, my name is Cuck. My name is Cuck Dreher. Oh my God, it's Rivers of Blood and the what's that book? It's the same shit I heard about for the last 20 years. Blah blah blah. We should, and nothing ever changes. Nobody does anything. Shut up. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the same shit, like it's always the same shit over and over and over. Oh, the turning the frog is gay. Yeah. Okay. Who gives a fuck? Right. I don't care anymore, dude. I literally do not care anymore. Like, I am no longer interested in politics. Like, I just don't care. I hate all of you. I really do. Like, I'm going to lay on my hammock and I'm going to enjoy my gin and tonic or whatever. And I'm just gonna be like, just fuck it. Let it burn. Don't care. Because it's really just the same shit over and over and over and over. Like, dude, how many times has Dave Green had the same exact podcast and the same exact conversations, right?
Yeah.
It's the same
thing. I keep thinking of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
it seems like we're circling back to the pagan tards now.
Look, exactly.
Whatever.
Do we not do this? I wrote an essay like last year, and it said everything that needed to be said about pagans. There's nothing to be said about them. They're fucking fake and retarded. Okay,
nothing new.
The only good pagan is Emma's Herbs, who told me that my adrenal glands are fatigued. Okay, at least that bitch had a job. You know what I mean?
That bitch had a job.
Right? Like, she sold me some vitamins.
Pretty impressive. Yeah,
right?
If a pagan came up to me and said, "Hey, your pancreas is dead," but just by looking at me, I'd be like, "Okay, cool." That's
like,
how do you go to church?
How do you know? Oh, a white raven of Odin came and told me your adrenal glands are fatigued.
Fine, good. That would actually be like.
Yeah, that'd have a value, but you're sitting here LARPing online and arguing with people. Like, shut up! I hate you all. You are all so stupid. Shut up.
Call me when your God does something. Call me when something happens.
It's like, oh my God, shut up! Can you tell Odin to make it rain? It's 110 degrees in South Carolina, and I'm sweating my balls off with the air conditioner on. Like, give me a rain dance. Give me some Native American magic.
I saw a great joke earlier. It was, hey, put on the Shaman Weather Channel. They take requests.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Can we get some of these like Native American pagans, man? Give me some coyote magic out here and some like what do you call it? Medicine. They got some good medicine,
Get some of that Seminole alligator blood magic or whatever the heck.
But no, I'm just are we doing that again? Are we doing the pagan thing again? Are we gonna do the art ho again like 3 years from now? Like the VPD
Nah, man,
thing?
3 weeks from now, watch. There's gonna be a new art ho guy.
No,
like, hey man, that art ho stuff, it's a good idea.
No, because we had this conversation already. This conversation got ended when that woman murdered 3 of her children, and a bunch of BPD art women are like trying to like blame her husband, or whatever,
right.
proving the point that you can't tame these women because they're going to murder your children or you,
right.
But yeah, dude, like I'm I'm so tired of this world, man. I want to go to Mars,
So
like
tired.
Dr. Manhattan, just sit there in the dark, dude. Like, I don't care about the movies. I don't care about I don't care about anything anymore. The only thing I care about is like what did I start doing the other day? That like just a complete. Oh, I started listening to like a podcast, and then like it was like about politics, and I was like, I literally drove for like 5 minutes, and I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck, and I turned it off, and I put on like Enola Gay by the Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drive 110 miles an hour down the highway towards Charleston and listen to gay 80s music because I would rather die in a blazing inferno than listen to another Substack podcast about fucking politics. Okay, like I just don't care anymore. You know?
Alex car crash posting. Oh no.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm over it, dude. And I've realized that like it's not a bad thing to be over it, right? It's a good thing to be
No,
over
it's
it.
not.
And you know
You're
what?
free. You're
Like
free.
I just I've decided that the only things I'm going to focus on from now on is things. I'm everything I'm going to. Do you remember the Mary Kondo like thing?
Yes.
Like, where like
Yeah.
you're supposed to
If
get
this
all your
doesn't
stuff.
spark joy,
If this doesn't spark joy, that's going to be me with everything. I'm going to be like, does this action spark joy? No. Do I have to do this or I go to jail? Yes. Can I balance jail potential with pleasure out of it? I'll do that quick equation and then I'll decide to either do it or not,
is this
like,
worth the consequences?
for example, going to work does not spark joy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I hate when I'm at work?
What's that?
I just hate that I'm at work.
Ah, yes,
That's the whole joke. Like I hate it when I'm at work. No, there's no and. I just hate it when I'm at work. But I have to because being homeless does not spark joy. But
no.
right, but I've just like at work the other day, somebody like asked me to do something or like take on like a task, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just not going to do that. Just not going to do that. Right. Like I got this email from like this like comptroller that was like asking me about like how have you updated your certificate, blah blah, and I'm like, no, and I'm just not going to do that. Or like here's a good one. 2 years ago, I ordered like a new desk, that new desks for our office 2 years ago, and they finally came.
No, really?
They finally came, right?
Dude, that's late Soviet right there.
This lady's like, oh, we're gonna bring the
no.
desks in. So like, do you mind like emptying your desk so we can put the new desk? And I'm like, I thought about it, I'm like, should I spend an hour cleaning this office? And I was like, no. So I just didn't do it. I don't care. And
what happened?
Well, they took all my stuff. They took all my stuff that I didn't care about anyways, because I even know it was in my desk, right? And they put it all in like a big trash bag, like So I kind of looked at it. I was like, there's a bunch of stuff that I might need, but I just threw it in the dumpster. I was like, I'm gonna fucking buy this shit, right? I was like, do I care enough about this stuff? And I was like, that's too much work.
You're gonna start a fight club. You're like this close to starting a fight club. That's where you're at. You realize
we're talking like a trash bag that I had to like drag behind me. I just yeeted that whole thing in the trash. There was like all kinds of weird stuff in there. No idea what was in there. Probably some top secret confidential papers and stuff. I don't care. Don't give a fuck. Like, not my problem. Like somebody else can deal with it.
Gonna be an intelligence leak. They're gonna try. They're gonna trace it back to your trash bag.
They're gonna be like, oh, dude, like I did take I have like these like little tiny like those like little anime keychains. My daughter buys me a bunch. Those were safe. I put those safe.
Of course,
stuff that matters. In my Vlad the Impaler mug, those was put to the side. But all my work stuff, I'm like, just throw it away. I don't care.
Vlad the Impaler mug.
I have a Vlad the Impaler mug, right?
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, man, I don't care, dude. Like I don't care about like all this stuff. Like you can open Substack right now, and I'm like, let's see what's everybody talking about. Let me see. Super slop and how it will kill your book deal. Don't care about book deals. Don't want to read your books, and everything sucks. Something individual, journey into I don't care. I just don't care, dude. I hate everything. Like I'm just so like I guess I'm like just burnt out, dude. I just want to sit and look at the sunset.
Yeah. That's a great
tired.
use of your time. That's a great use of your time, though.
I just want to watch beautiful things. I want to listen to music. I want to watch good movies. I want to read good books, and I want to enjoy things. I want to eat good food. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about like, what? If the world ends tomorrow, fuck it. God wills it. You know what I mean? Right? Like if I come down with like boils and stuff all over my skin, well, you know what? Fuck it. I probably deserved it. but I'm not going to fret about it, man. Like, I don't care. I don't care. And I really don't care about others. Like, before the internet and before like media and all that stuff, you didn't know about any of this shit. Like you never like
Yeah.
nobody ever like you our grandparents never thought about any of this shit. Our great grandparents,
Yeah.
right? Our great grandparents never thought about it.
Pagans, that's what that one chick down at the coffee house is about.
They didn't even know that. You know what I mean? They didn't even know what
Yeah.
they didn't even know what Bustelo was, you know?
Right.
They didn't think about the stuff. They didn't, they didn't care about that. Maybe they read the newspaper or something like that. But like, yeah, dude, like, I don't know, man. Like, I just it's not worth it, dude,
Yeah.
All right, what else we got to talk about? Anything interesting going on besides you starting school?
Besides that, no, not really. That's been going very well. The Bay Club has exploded. Um, I want to say I probably had like 30 or 35 kids at the last meeting. It was actually a little overwhelming. So that's nice. I mean, that's excellent. We've got some great things planned this year. There was a guy. Oh, hold on. There was a guy. I tagged you in that post. I don't know if he's here live right now, but it's fun to get a question about people asking how I genuinely teach. Can I give an example? Can I try to give an example?
Yeah,
I'm a
go
little
ahead.
tired and I'm nearly done with this beer. So this is for that guy in chat that wanted to know how I actually teach. So here's what I did today. So I start the days with first questions, and I usually just throw something on the board. Today I asked, what are the best historical sources? And then had the kids write down in their journal what they thought. And a lot of people said books, the library, God, various other things, all kinds of stuff. And I said, great, fine. Talked about it this, talked about it that. And then I explained that from the proper historian perspective, you have tertiary sources, secondary sources, primary sources. And then I said, we talked about it, had some laughs. And I said, okay, great, guys, you know something now. You know something real in the world that I have taught you that you didn't know before. So what does this all have to do with it? Well, today we're going to go look at a primary document. How many of you guys have read the Declaration of Independence? I've had one kid out of all my students who's actually read the Declaration of Independence from start to finish. And he didn't understand any of it. So in Florida, you have something called the FCLE, the Florida Civics Literacy Exam. There are 4 competencies. The first part is American democracy. The second part is U.S. Constitution. The third part is founding documents. And then the fourth part is landmark cases. We just got done with, because their test is really like quick. We just got done with the first part, U.S. Constitution or U.S. democracy, American democracy. And it's just like all the key stuff, like social contract, natural law, natural rights, popular sovereignty, like all that stuff. So I've basically been talking vocabulary for the last like week and a half. So I'm like, okay, guys, so we're going to read the Declaration of Independence, and I'm going to show you how you know things now, because I've basically given you secret codes to understand this document. And I just start ripping through the document, read the first part. I'm like, guys, what's that mean? Talk to me. And it's just silence in the room. So I start like getting in kids' faces, like, think of something that this reminds you of. And slowly but surely, I start getting answers here, answers there. Like, somebody's like, well, it kind of reminds me of republicanism a little bit. I was like, okay, well, let's see how that ties in. Like, I don't care if the answer's right or not. I'm just trying to get them to think about it a little bit, right? So I spent about 20 or 25 minutes basically yelling at my class about the Declaration of Independence. And by the end of it, I want to say probably like 4 out of my 6 classes, like everybody had a blast because, I'm up there with my, I look like a crazy mad scientist now. But by the end of it, like kids are starting to like pop off with stuff. And my best class, so I have a class this year that's by far my best. They're like getting it. They're like really popping off on it. Oh, well, that's social contract. And they're complaining about the king because he's violating life, liberty, and property. And like you could just see their faces going, holy shit, I understand the Declaration of Independence now. What is, and just go through. I point out the part where they call the king a pirate, which is hilarious. Like, oh, hey guys, how about down here where he says he's like the worst of all the worst barbarians? Guys, he just called him worse than Hitler. Everybody laughs. They're like, really? Like, yeah, that's what that is there, So we're having this blast, we're having this thing. And then at the end of it, usually I have a final question at the end of the period where then I try to give them something like actually related to the content. And I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to give you a test. and I'm going to drop the preamble on them, and then I'm going to have them do that on their own. So like, read the preamble of the Constitution. What do you see in there? Pick any of the things, any 5 of the things that we've looked at. Any 5 of the things that we look at. What do you see in the preamble? Explain it to me. We'll see how they do tomorrow. But like, to the unknown poster out there, the trick for this is that in civics in middle school, they learn what stuff is, right? And like a couple of years later, it rings a bell at best. No one's ever bothered to teach them how to actually think this shit through. And that's where the fun is, because when you see somebody, like I had one kid who was like really shy about it, and his first answer was wrong, but then by the end, he was popping off. And I gave him I gave him a thump on the shoulder as he went by out the door. I'm like, nice job, man. You got it. Because he was actually getting a little quick. And like you could kind of see him kind of stood up a little bit. He's like, thanks, man. It's like, I'll see you tomorrow. Get ready for more. So like that's how I teach. It's like 45 minutes of, you know how we are on the podcast when we get going. That's class.
Well, those are the best classes I remember.
Yeah,
I used to listen to these. I used to listen to these. The classes that stood out the most are the ones that just had this kind of free flowing conversation. Where it just went, and it made me go like, oh, but what do you think about this? And then like, oh, okay, I never thought about it this way.
And you could always tie it back.
Right, and like different perspectives.
Even the class that went off on the Holocaust tied it back.
Right.
That's cool.
And in a way, like an ideal teacher is that you're putting these, like, it's almost like, I don't know. I think a great way of looking at it is you're kind of like a game creator. A good game
100%.
creator creates elements. Like I used to run role-playing games a lot, like Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of stuff. And a lot of really bad like dungeon masters or storytellers always would do stuff like railroad the players. They would railroad them because they wanted to tell a story. What really the best kind of stories are the stories where you just leave the elements there and you let the players find the story. Have you ever played like the Dark Souls games, like the Elder Scrolls? Not the Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls, yeah. No, I'm a huge Elder Scrolls.
Not Elder Scrolls. I'm talking about the Dark Souls. Like,
Dark Souls. No,
like
I have
Elden
played a little
Ring.
bit. Yeah, I didn't like those as much, but yeah, I'm familiar.
So what's interesting about those games like Elden Ring, right, is that there's no storyline to them, right? There's no like giant cut scenes at the beginning or anything like that, right? But there is a story, right? But it's told through like items, and it's told through like descriptions of items, or like, it's all disjointed, and you find the story through like exploration.
And it emerges over time.
It emerges over time, and I think that is a great way to kind of teach things. You see that in like a game like Cyberpunk 2077. There's a story. There's tons of stories hidden in the city itself. Like that are not part of the main storyline, where you'll meet a character here and they're tied into another character, like, completely unconnected somewhere far away and stuff, and I think that's a great way of teaching, is you create this, you as a teacher, I think, and I'm not an educator, so correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. You create a landscape, right? You create a landscape and you open the doors to this landscape for your students,
Yeah.
And
I'll say one thing. I think an actual professional educator would disagree with you, but that's because they're wrong.
Right.
Like they'd be talking about too much about scaffolding and like this and that. It's like, no. They want to build a ladder that the student climbs up slowly but surely.
Right.
What you and I are talking about is swinging open a door to this massive landscape that they have no idea what's in there, what's going on, and it's actually even a little dangerous. But
right, it has to be.
The teacher is there,
or it's not worth doing.
Right, the teacher is there as a wizard. That if you get killed, I'll just res you.
Right. Or like I'll pull you back with my protection spell real quick. That's kind of exactly what I mean in a way.
A mentor.
Right.
The master and the apprentice.
That's a good way. And I was thinking about writing. I was listening to the Bret Easton Ellis podcast, and he was kind of complaining that so many young people, a lot of like Gen Z or younger people, even like young millennials, always complain that like they don't like books or something like that where the main character, or where they don't see themselves in the main character. So they're like, oh, this character is like a murderer. I don't agree with this character, so I hate this book, right? Because they just
Yeah.
want to, you know, and reading literature or watching film or television like that is completely a very silly way, because a book or a work of art should not be a mirror, right? When you
Right.
are reading a book, it should not be a mirror of yourself. It shouldn't,
Yeah.
what a book is actually, it should be a door, and you should go through the door and inhabit this world, right? So when
That
you
is not
open the door
yours.
of the right, when you open the door
Yeah.
of this book, you're entering a world, the best fiction, the best film, the best, the best television, right? The best anime, the best video games are ones where the world feels real. When you you can enter into this world and go, I might not agree with the characters, but I believe that everything is real, even if it's
Yeah.
obviously a fantasy, right? Like, for
Right.
example, like, I don't agree with, like in Breaking Bad, right? I don't agree with, any of the decisions made in that show, right?
Sure.
But I empathize with them, and I understand that the world feels real in that world, and
Yeah.
that's what makes a good show. That's what makes a good work of art, right? Is that they're
Yeah.
not a mirror, they're a door. Because if all you do is stare at the mirror, you're just going to starve. You're going to starve
Yeah.
to death, because you're basically just what's his name? Uh, what's his name? What is his name? Narcissist, right? You're
Yeah.
just staring at the pool, not drinking, looking at
Yeah.
yourself, because like, I don't know. And you discover yourself, or you discover aspects of yourself in this world you walk through in a book, but you're not looking for yourself. You're trying to understand the world you're inhibiting temporarily. And that's how you learn true empathy. That's how you learn how to empathize with stuff. Um, and I think a lot of people forget that. And a lot of people just want, just want this surface mirror kind of world, where like good guy's good and bad guy's
Yeah.
bad. And that. And a good teacher opens doors and introduces people to this world. Like, I'll tell you forever, man. I remember I mentioned it before in the podcast, but I had this teacher that I took for fun. I took a history class in the early college, right? Like very, very undergrad. And it was a British guy, and he was teaching American
Hmm.
history, but his, like, the caveat of the class, which I didn't know. I randomly took it, like, without even looking at the description of the class. I just saw, history, whatever, and it matched my time. But his entire class was the American Revolution, taught from the perspective of the British.
Yeah. That's cool.
And it opened
That's
the world.
crazy cool.
I was like, oh, wow, okay. Now I kind of understand why the British were mad. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay,
They're not wrong.
damn,
They're
that was
not
a lot of
wrong.
propaganda. That was a lot of propaganda that we're taught in post hoc justifications of and propaganda that we're taught as Americans. Like,
Yeah.
huh? Like, why were we getting taxed? Why were the colonists getting taxed? Oh, because they were paying for the British
The
fought off
massive
the
war we
Indians and
won
the
on your
French.
behalf.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
they won a war for them, and then now they don't want to pay for it. Um, Interestingly enough, the percentage of taxes were so much lower than the percentage of taxes we're paying today. But that's an obvious problem, right? But yeah, I think that's a great way of approaching teaching, is opening a world for somebody. And that's a great way of
Yeah.
raising a kid. I might not be a teacher, but I am a parent, and I try to kind of expose my kid to a bunch of a different world and different ideas and stuff. And you know if you have kids and if you teach kids, they don't fucking listen to anything, man. They're all know-it-alls.
Oh yeah.
I was a horrible know-it-all forever. But hey,
Yeah.
we gotta call it a night. It's
Oh, is it
8:30.
time?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
time. I
Cool,
gotta go
man.
put my daughter to sleep.
Yeah.
Thanks guys
Oh
for
yeah. It's way
listening
past
in.
my bedtime.
Yeah, I had a great time, actually. It's funny because we didn't really have anything planned, and I ended up. I feel like we hit some good deep topics today, and I really really no, I really enjoyed it. I really,
Yeah.
especially and we talked about Emma's Herbs and the Witches. Oh, I never said what movie I remember. I
Oh
asked you what
yeah.
movie you
What's your
remember.
movie, man?
It's called Horror Express. It's a
Huh.
1972 movie with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. It's about this
Oh
monster on a
wow.
train, and it's a Spanish movie, but it's like a Spanish production, but it's got Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee and stuff. It's got
Yeah.
Saruman the Wise, um,
Yeah.
and it Look it up. It's like the weirdest movie, but it's like I think I saw it when I was like 4, and it was burned into my head. There's this like monster in like in a train. They're like on a train with this monster that's out there eating people. It's like the the Intercontinental Express or whatever, or like the Siberian Express. You know what I'm talking about? Like that train, the famous train, Oriental Express,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, and it's got this like
The
weird
Orient
mummy.
Express.
Yeah, Orient Express. Yeah, it's got this like mummy in it or something like that, and it's like Peter Cushing's like a vampire hunter type. It's a pretty cool freaking movie. It's really weird that a lot of people haven't never heard of, but I saw it when I was a little kid, like on television in like Romania, and like communist Romania for some reason it was showing, and it like burnt into my skull forever. And it has, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing movie. But for you guys listening live and you guys listening later this week, next week's live episode will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. instead of Thursday, because we are switching our live stream chill stack to Wednesday afternoons, right, Vista?
Yep, correct.
And we agreed. Okay, we slapped the table on that. And
yeah, we did slap the table. Table has been slapped.
Table has been slapped. I do apologize that we keep on changing the date around, but Fisto's job requires him to change his his schedule every year. My job is kind of the same thing, and I also kind of have to work around my daughter's like dance classes and her sports and all this stuff, and her homework, and that's a priority for me. So at the beginning of each kind of like season, every big change, we kind of talk about it. And, Wednesday's the better day. And honestly, I much prefer Wednesdays. Wednesdays is the day I prefer. We did Thursdays over the summer because you were doing the play thing on Wednesdays or something.
Yeah.
Right? So it just works out much better. And the reason is because if we do it on Wednesdays, I can have enough time to edit it before Friday and put the edited episode out like Friday morning,
Yeah, boy.
Which I can't really do on Thursday nights because I'm like too tired after we finish here.
Indeed. Well, yeah, it'll be a good change. There's a lot of stuff happening in my life too, where a lot of meetings tend to happen on Thursday. Well, we didn't get to talk about this, but there's a bit of a shakeup on city council thanks to the election.
Well,
it's all fine. Yeah, it's all fine, but I'm probably going to go to the council meeting this month and meet some of the new folk. So we'll see how that goes. But I got a guy on the council, so it seems like
we're gonna have to do that here too, because they've decided to install like freaking 400 like flock cameras or something without letting us know.
Yeah, that's been an issue down here.
Yeah,
I keep trying to tell my friends that you can't handle the flock issue by just quoting the Constitution on Facebook. That's not gonna.
Right, you gotta
they're just gonna ignore that.
Right. Oh, and that's kind of like why I'm kind of like. This is a different topic. I don't even want to get into it, but it's kind of why I'm like irritated with people, because it's like, the irony of like South Carolina is supposed to be this like deep red state, but they're more boomer shit lib than like California ever was. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like, for all it's like lameness, California like would never tolerate half the stuff that like these dumb boomers down here do. Because they're so like. Californians would be against the flock camera stuff for a completely different reason than like a liberal would. Than a conservative would, but I would agree with them and they would handle it, But here, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. I don't commit any crime, so I'm not afraid of, the low IQ 24-year-old cop having access to every move I make. You know what I mean? Like, shut up. Dude. It's like, it's not that you're committing a crime. It's that like they're never going to use those flock cameras to look for crime. They're going to just use it to extort money out of you for speeding tickets, and then follow their girlfriends around on it. Like that's what they're going to do with it,
Yeah. Well, it's like people. It's like completing about it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment sent from my iPhone.
Yeah, and I mean, like ultimately, like, I like that. The argument is a legit argument. Yeah, like why are you complaining about flock camera when you got your cell phone and you're recording a podcast and that kind of stuff, right? It's true, but like what? I would rather have some pervert in San Francisco, like at some tech company, like listen to me talk, than the creepy cop that lives down the street from me. That's beating his wife or whatever, right? Like, so there's a level of disconnect.
What about the creepy tech guy that lives down the street? Because
they really don't know? Because those tech guys don't live in South Carolina. They live out in Silicon Valley,
All right, that's fair.
And the creepy tech guy can't legally shoot me. You know what I mean? Right? Well, the cop can.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
and that's the problem. That's where
I
like
guess,
the
I guess, I guess, I guess it's better to have a gooner than a gooner with a gun.
right, exactly, with a gun and a badge that can kill you if they want to. But ultimately, it's not going to be about crime. They're just going to like all these
Yeah,
measures that are authoritarian in this way. Like in a weird way, I don't have a problem with authoritarianism, right? I
per
think that
se. Right.
I think that like in a way, like countries like China are not that bad, and they're not bad because of the authoritarianism, right? But they apply their authoritarianism equally across the board to almost the majority of their population, maybe with the exception of like party officials and stuff like that, right? So
Right.
the Chinese citizen, or a Singaporean citizen, for example, lives under a much more authoritarian world than we do, but they get freedom. They get the freedom of safety and that kind of stuff that we don't. Here, these flock cameras are not going to actually stop crime. They're not going to stop the criminal stuff because the criminal classes tend to be protected by, pseudo political
They've
elements and that
bought the
kind of
cops
stuff.
looking at the yeah, they've bought the cops looking at the flock cameras.
Right. Or they didn't really buy the class, but they're protected classes that are not, what I mean? Like,
Also that too. Yeah.
what I mean? Like if like, like they're not gonna like as soon as like the flock cameras are used to like stop like car robberies and stuff like that, they're gonna find a disproportionate number of people that are all in the same kind of club, right? And right away they're not going to use that as evidence because it's going to look bad, right? So
Right.
what they're going to do is they're going to go after like traffic tickets and traffic violations. So
Yeah.
flock cameras are just going to be another form of,
It's a tax.
like it's just another tax. It's just another like
Yeah.
financial extortion on people that are just, maybe driving 22 miles an hour or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck them. I don't want them.
You
You
know,
know
the
what I
other
mean?
thing, funny too, going back to the tech bro in San Francisco, all that invasion of privacy is to just sell you shit anyway.
Right. Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's not. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's not about crime. It's not about that. It's about just another means of like constant tax.
Money.
And we're
Get that
being
money.
taxed. We're being taxed on everything. Everything's a fucking ripoff. Like
Yep.
right now, like our power company in our city decided to merge with another power company, and our bills have doubled in neighborhoods. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people used to pay like $90 a month for like power. Now they're paying like $250 a month for power. And it's like it's just a ludicrous amount, like in just nickel and diming us into like just
Yeah.
complete and total oblivion, right?
A
Like,
complete and total burnout.
yeah, a complete and total fucking burnout. I don't longer care, and the flock cameras can kiss my ass. That's what I think, and I hate them, and but I hate that the fact that they lied about it, and our mayor said that like, oh, these flock cameras they don't do facial recognition. I'm like, shut up. Of course they
The
do.
fuck
Like, I'm
they
not
don't.
retarded, right? It never
Yeah.
got voted on. The people never voted on. They never did any of that. So it's very frustrating, But like I said, like
Bullshit.
the problem with like the South and the problem with like the Southern red states is that they're just more retarded liberals. All right,
Yeah.
like they're
They
not
don't know
like
what time it is.
yeah they're the only reason they're conservative because they're too retarded to be liberal. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like they're too
That makes
slow
perfect
to like
sense.
they're like the model from like 10 years ago. That's the only
Yeah.
thing that makes the majority of like Southerners conservative. They don't really know any, like they don't have any like actual theory or anything like that. They don't have like any like self pride or anything like that. They're just boomers, and really I don't think we can ever
Yeah.
fix this country until all the boomers get seppuku themselves into oblivion. If only
Yeah.
COVID was real, we had a chance.
If only COVID was as deadly as they said it was
If
going
yeah,
to
if only COVID was the boomer remover as we were promised, but it
be. The
wasn't.
boomer. I forgot about that. The
Yeah,
boomer remover.
if only it was, but it wasn't. Can you think of the golden age? We would
Hey.
have been. I would have lived in space already. It would have like if the
Yeah.
boomers got removed tomorrow, we would have been like traveling through space already. I would have been
Yeah.
I would have been able to open a wormhole with my brain.
Yeah. You would have been able to. You would have been
Yeah.
able to sit on a hammock, drink your drink,
Yeah.
and watch the sun and watch the Mars rise.
It would have been like the
Been Rome on
Europe
Mars.
post the Black Plague, and all the
Yeah. Yeah. I
it
was just
would have
thinking
been
that.
a renaissance. We could have had we will have a renaissance when the boomers are gone, if they're gone fast enough, but they won't. They won't. They will.
Maybe
They
next
will.
time.
They're disgusting lich hands. They're disgusting undead corpse hands. We'll hold on, and in 20 years, I'll still fucking see fucking movies with Matt Damon in him as this fucking male lead. You know, it's gonna piss me off so much. Like,
Odyssey 2. We're
yeah,
gonna have we're gonna have the Odyssey remake of
honestly, remake
Christopher Nolan's Odyssey.
with the same fucking actors. You know,
It'll be Christopher Nolan remaking his own
yeah,
Odyssey.
yeah, forever and ever. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Good night. It was wonderful. We'll see you next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Bye, guys.
If you guys are interested in any specific, hey, somebody in the YouTube chat said no one likes you, even your close family. He is so correct. Nobody likes me, and I don't like anybody. I don't have. Did you hear that? Okay, real fast. Did you hear that they're making the new My Friends? They're bringing back MySpace.
No, I didn't hear.
Oh yeah, they're planning. Tom, the owner of my, the OG Tom that used to be your friend on MySpace.
Yeah.
Right.
Good old Tom.
And
I miss Tom.
He wants to bring back MySpace supposedly, and it's going to have it's going to have no algorithm. That's the thing. It's going to be an algorithm-free social media.
Fuck you, Substack. We out.
Yeah, dude, we out. We on MySpace, right? But
we on MySpace,
dude. But the only problem, right?
Yeah.
The only problem is I don't have 8 friends to put on my page anymore. Remember, you had to put the 8 friends, your top friends. I don't have any friends, bro.
Hey, random YouTube hater. I like Alex.
Like this fucking new MySpace. I better be able to customize my page and put like glitter like I used to, and have my song play, my emo song play right when it starts. It's gonna be legendary, bro.
If new MySpace happens and it's what we're hoping, I'll bail. I'll bail on Substack.
Yeah, we'll have MySpace and Substack. We'll be both. All right. We'll have Black Ibis on MySpace. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
It's their shit posting on MySpace.
Dude, I'm actually gonna post all my. I actually have a file on my on my other laptop, right? And it's actually MySpace pictures, all my old MySpace pictures. I downloaded and I put them in a file on like a Google Share Drive or something like that because I deleted it because I went back and I was like, oh God, ooh, what the hell, But I didn't want to get rid of the pictures, so I made a MySpace like file with all my pictures, and I'm gonna post all those, bro. It's gonna be me, straight up 20 years old, like black hair in my eyes, shaved.
We're going back in time, man. We're going back in time. Slowly but surely, things are moving back.
We're doing the Matt Damon thing. It's gonna be just forever emo constantly. We're listening to Limp Bizkit like it's 1998. It's just that. It's just gonna be that forever, dude. All right, guys. Great episode. Thanks for joining us on the Black Ibis Social Club on a fantastic chill stack. This episode will be out for everybody tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow morning. I'll put it out tomorrow morning. And if you really, really enjoy it, please like and share and subscribe. Throw me some money if you want. The money goes to paying. It goes to like me and Fisto get like $10, and the rest goes to StreamYard and my internet. But like and share, and and then always please comment. All right, if you guys want us to talk about something specifically, or you have a topic, I love the back and forth in the chat, and usually we diverge into full chat retardation most of the time, and I think that brings some of the best episodes and the best kind of conversation. Once again, if you think of anybody you want us to invite on the episode, we do like doing guests. I've been kind of lame on the guest, mostly because I feel like we've been so busy with personal stuff that I can't do the guest justice. Like when I have a guest, I want to know everything about them and read their book or read all their work and stuff. And I haven't been able, like, I don't have the energy to do that. To like, we used to read all the books that people would come on, and I don't want to do a sloppy job of having somebody over. Like I could have Lisa Kuznak on forever because I read all her stuff and I know, I talk to her every day, but I can't really do like somebody new because I need to like have some chance to read it. But soon I'll have more time, so we'll get more guests on. We need to have John back on, and John and Jason and everybody, so that we can talk
definitely
South and all that. But yeah, we'll have a lot more time soon. All right, guys, good night. It was a wonderful episode. Fisto, I'm glad you made it, and we'll talk next week. All right. Good night.
See you guys.